overall funding taking place. There's some incredible statistics that we have in our research that state that the funding that Latino and Latina entrepreneurs are requesting is under $100,000, and just the proportion of the funding asked are not being had by our community. So I think if the Latino and Latina entrepreneur combine the resilience that we have as Latinos with an open heart and an open mind to be prepared to receive capital, I think the outcomes would be absolutely outstanding.
I agree. I read the reports. To be honest, I am subscribed to your newsletter, and I'm very excited every time that there news. I always, oh my God, what's going on? And the reports that you guys put together are very interesting. I mean, the data that I find there, the numbers are, oh my God, son increíbles what we can do for this country and for ourselves, of course. Now, what's the most common mistake you see entrepreneurs make?
Well, and this is kind of tied to the capital access. I mean, the majority of Latino-owned businesses did not apply for financing. Those that responded to the largest sample size of actual surveyed Latino and Latina business owners that feeds our report called the State of Latino Entrepreneurship that comes out of the Stanford Latino Entrepreneurship Initiative. So it's the largest sample size in existence to date in the U.S. And from these responses, just to repeat this, the majority of Latino-owned businesses did not apply for financing, and those who did, only 1 in 4 got fully funded, as compared to half of white business owners who applied. And correlated to that, 60%, Fernando, of all Latino businesses did not apply for financing. And just a little bit more beyond that, those who did, 30% applied for less than $100,000. So I think related to the question that you asked prior to the question currently, it all has to come back to preparation and building relationships with capital providers before you need the money. I think those elements are critical because I tell you, I feel in my heart that the work ethic is there. I feel that the passion is there. I feel like leaving a better life for our children and grandchildren is there, involving the family structure of faith and la familia and the community is there. So I think this is the one unlocking piece that can be the key to everything.
It's
not only important to us, but it's also important to all Americans.
Right.
Because we're contributors to this American economy. If U.S. Latinos, if we were a country by ourselves, we'd have the 7th largest GDP in the world.
Very interesting. It seems that we have built a wall between us and the access to capital. And I see it in the culture itself. We don't tend to go to banks, to the Small Business Administration, because we think, oh my God, they're going to ask so many conditions. Or maybe I start from planting a stop sign on my brain. I said, oh no, they're never going to accept me or give me money. And that's a negative start. So starting to any initiative. So we need to change that. So tell me how to do it, where to go, how to start the conversation to people or institutions that are going to provide me with capital.
That's right. I think just like we shop for just about anything, Fernando, I think we should shop for capital. And it comes back to the principle that I outlined earlier, is that we should build relationships with bankers before we need the money. That's the mentality that I would have. And the best way that I could demonstrate this is through some of our amazing alumni that we know want to be inspirational to all the Latino and Latina business owners out there. I'll give you an example like Maria Rios, the first Latina in the waste management industry in the history of the United States. She came over from El Salvador without speaking one word of English, escaping civil strife. And she was ridiculed for her accent, even so today, but she's the one laughing at the end of the day because she became one of Fortune's most powerful women entrepreneurs in the world.
Right.
And,
I read about her. It's amazing.
This is a woman who can show up in her tangerine suit and her high heels and on a dump site with her trucks, and is basically saying, you know what, I'm living in a man's world as a Latina, and I have made it. I have made it to the mountaintop, but it wasn't easy, and she had to learn how to develop business plans and later on graduate those business plans to growth plans. And you know what she committed to? Is she committed to learning and always educating herself. But it wasn't easy. It was not easy. It was one of the most challenging situations that she could have imagined. In fact, when she first started in the industry, when she went to get that loan for her first 2 dump trucks, because she's in waste management, now she has over 50 dump trucks. But the first 2, the bankers came back and with her in the room said, we're looking for Mario Rios, because they thought the A was an O. And she said, well, you don't have to look any further than this. It's Maria Rios with an A, and I'm the owner of this business. But those lessons from way back, including some implicit biases that were probably happening, she has taken every lesson to make her stronger. And there is no way, Fernando, that she would have launched her new division, Nation Safety Net, which is partnering with IBM Watson IoT technology to revolutionize the safety industry. There's no way that she could go into that new world with that amazing product that's going to transform entrepreneurship without having an understanding of capital. And it doesn't mean like you have to know everything about it, but it just means building relationships over time. So she's been able to do that not only with one bank, but with several. And that's going to be the key to her becoming a global player. And that's what she's doing today. I'll give you one more example, if I may, about this amazing Latino millennial entrepreneur in tech. He's doing vegan dog food. Vegan dog food. Imagínate.
Oh, my God.
And so the only way that he was able to get off the ground in that business is he knew he needed millions of dollars. And so he began preparing like nobody's business, making sure that he got as much information as he could. He qualified and graduated from our program. He had mentors left and right guiding him along. And I'll tell you what the outcome of all that was. You know that show Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Well, Mark Cuban invested in his company. And I think now he's raised over $11 million to help his idea, you know, which is so consistent with our Latinos and Latinas, big ideas from the heart. Well, he's now living his dream.
I read about it, and I didn't know that he was Latino. I don't know if it was Forbes or Inc. or Entrepreneur or one of those. And but I didn't realize that he was a Latino. That's awesome. So
that's right. His name is Ryan Betancourt.
Oh, Ryan Betancourt. So, okay. Betancourt is very South American last name also. So a lot of... anyways, that's very, very interesting and inspiring. You know, because one of the things that we are always afraid is failure. So, and the challenges that we have ahead. So, because sometimes we are short in terms of English, the language. Sometimes we don't understand the system. We do what you are telling us not to do. So, ask the compadre, la tía, la mamá, el papá about money. And so we involve the whole family. And, you know, that's emotional money, because if something happens, you know, it's going to be a huge issue in the family. There's going to be destruction all over. However, if you put together a good relation with the bankers, as you are saying, you can get money. It's not yours. It's not emotional money. It's cold money. As something happens, well, you can cut a deal here and there, you know, and that's a mentality that we need to change. So what's your advice to overcome that fear to failure and the challenges that for sure arise in our path to success?
I love the way you stated that. I think failure is an ingredient in any big success. That is the bottom line. If we don't fail and learn that failure is a temporary setback and that it is an ingredient toward our pathway of ultimate sustainability and endurance, and profitability, then we're missing the boat there. When it comes to the family-owned business structure, I think we have to keep that in mind, that it's about organizational sustainability and that business is business. So what I've seen successful family-owned businesses do is that they delegate responsibilities. You know, one person is the CEO, the other is the CFO, the other runs operation, the other one is in development and sales. And they've learned from other organizations of how to divide and how to create controls and balances. And not to take, if we cross the line in terms of taking it personally, like I can't believe my tío did that to me, or I can't believe my hermana is showing me up. That type of mentality, I think, will be to our deficit. But if we think about things more like, well, you know, she's not only my sister, but she's the chief marketing officer of this company. And I'm questioning, in a good way, why did we go about that marketing approach? What was your reasoning for that? What is going to be the return on investment of this, $20,000 that we're putting into this PR agency? What are the outcomes going to be from that? So those are very healthy questions that we should ask from a business point of view. And then we should leverage the fact that we're all, as a family, we're doing this for the family unit. We're doing this to extend our generational impact, to make sure that we left this world a better place than we found it, and to leave our mark. So if we can take the best of both worlds, I think we're unbelievably amazing, and we're a force to be reckoned with for a very, very long time.
Now, I was thinking, what about if the problem is not so much with us, the Latinos, entrepreneurs, different skin color, different sizes, different language, way to act, way to dress, and the problem is more with the lenders, with the people that is going to be providing the capital. Do you think, in a way, is there any kind of prejudice or, segmentation in terms of this guy doesn't look so good, so I don't think he's going to be providing or bring that security if I lend him money? Because I talk to many people, and I talk to people that, they dress humbly. They don't look like, with a lot of bling bling. They have, a little gorro, and they walk into a restaurant. They have a lot of money, a lot of cash. They walk into a restaurant and they feel that there is a prejudice because they don't look like the tall, kind of, fair skin, let's call it. I hate that term, because there is no unfair skin. All skins are beautiful. But let's say I am not so light and I walk into that restaurant. Sometimes I feel like, this guy thinks or, looks over the shoulder to me. I don't get that attention. Do you think that is a reality in the lending world?
Well, I think some of that is definitely happening, and it just makes me so frustrated and, frankly, angry when I hear about those instances. So what I would say to that is if our Latino and Latina entrepreneurs are feeling that and they're trusting their intuition and that's what they're feeling, I say, walk out. There's other lenders that don't operate that way. And that is the key. That's why we want to shop around for our capital providers and not just go to that one place. We want to feel like we're the customers. And so that's the bottom line. And it's also about building confidence. And I've seen a lot of cases where I didn't see the utmost confidence and pride about what had been accomplished. And then there's cases where I see that confidence and how it makes a big difference, that no matter how you're dressed, no matter what your skin tone is, you walk into the lender or the bank with your head held up high, shoulders back, because of what accomplishments that you've had in building the business. Building a business is very, very difficult. Whether you're producing a tie, whether you're in a restaurant business, whether you're creating a product or a service, it's all a big achievement. So I would just say, walk in with pride and be prepared and learn from places like LBAN and some other places to make sure that your growth plan, your business plan is in place. And if it's not the right place or they're not treating you right, then they don't deserve your business. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely.